What's happening, people? An individual's evolution. One of the things that I always found strange in evolution was the idea of the lack of an idea of an individual. That's my own bias. I think in many ways a lot of the science, certainly biological science and even sociological and psychological, it kind of takes away the individual in many respects and takes the power away from the individual. The idea that an individual with some kind of direction, with experience of the world, the choices they made, could then change itself. And perhaps this is, a reflection of an underlying idea of no free will. That in these sciences there is kind of the assumption that there is no free will, that the individual doesn't have power. There is that Lamarckian evolution, but in this case of the mind, that's what I'm thinking about it, where the individual wants its offspring to be better and stronger and more capable, and that changing the mind of the child, the offspring, is certainly in our case the most effective way to improve the survival and reproductive chances of the child. Having a conscious desire to change, a conscious act to change, both the self and the offspring, in response to the environment, in response to a perceived future or a desire, which is another thing altogether. Yeah, but I think the individual can never see too far ahead. But we're not blind to what changes are happening. For a mother to see something new in its child, or a grandmother to recognize change and mutation, or a grandfather to see something different and to let that thing live, to try and help it thrive. That's something special, but I don't think it's necessarily special for us. That this idea of allowing and desiring and seeing the power in mutation, the benefit, is something that perhaps exists in all species. And perhaps the greatest step in evolution was not consciousness, but rather the kind of malleability of the mind and the ease with which an individual can make changes to itself and to its offspring, and to then have greater influence on creation, and in that greater influence on survival and reproduction. Bringing it back to just biological science, that we are more malleable, the most malleable creature that has existed, and that is what gives us superiority potential. Alright, I'm going to leave it there. I will see you next time. Bye bye.